It's been an interesting build-up to this one. It's not usual that we hear twerking and teabagging ahead of a fight. What exactly about this one are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight. Yeah, we're hyping the fight up, but not in the right way. You know, a little homoerotic, if that's okay to say. But
I think so.
Yeah, we have a similar vibe, similar charisma. Yeah, you know, I like him, and I think it's gonna be an interesting fight.
When you said the quote about I'm going to twerk on him and start a riot, did you anticipate it was going to get quite such a reaction?
No, I say a lot of silly things, and I was with the schmo and his stick, and he's pretty like I think it relaxed me a little much. I said that, and then it kind of got out of control, and yeah, but it fits me. It's on message, but. Yeah, I've talked about twerking a lot in the past few months, a lot more than I thought I ever would. So that's kind of cool.
Have you had to work on it to make sure it's up to standard?
I've had to. I've been on several other fighters, like their vlogs, showing them how to twerk. So I've become quite the teacher.
Yes.
I do think, if I do say so myself. So yeah, it's a twerking camp for sure.
It's been a unique build-up to this fight. Talks of twerking and teabagging and stuff like that. What have you made of it?
I didn't mind him, lad, before the fight got announced, know what I mean? But he's been talking all sorts of crazy shit, lad. And he's an absolute crab. Know what I mean? Can't throw a punch to save his life. And he's trying to talk shit, lad. It's mad. Can't believe he's talking about my opponents. That's Ray Ogden, lad. Me nan's dead and she'd finish him. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to say he was in here earlier and he wasn't being very complimentary of you.
That's what I mean. He's been talking proper shit, lad. He's an absolute idiot. The kid that we reverse triangled, a fat featherweight. His ground game's terrible. That he got twisted by Bryce Mitchell says it all. Matt Wyman should be in an old age pensioners home. You know what I mean? He was on the Ultimate Fighter season 5. I'd watched that when I was 15. You know what I mean? I'll beat Matt Wyman after I beat Jordan on Saturday night. Good
stuff. Twerking aside, when you look at the fight itself, what have you made of Paddy Pimblett in the UFC, and how do you think you stack up against him?
I feel like you separate all the flash from this fight. It's not very interesting at all. I don't follow him on social media, and I didn't really know about Paddy until his debut, so I don't think I'm going to be starstruck. I don't really see him as a star. He's just a guy that's 0-2 in the UFC, and he fought some guys that had losing records in the UFC. And there's plenty of guys in the roster like that. So I'm just kind of trying to separate this fight from the flash. And, on paper, I'm not too interested in this matchup, to be honest. So,
what exactly about it are you not interested in?
I kind of fought a grappler last fight, and they lead to boring fights. And I think I'm a little too smart to make a lot of the mistakes that a lot of his opponents have made. If I take him down, I'm not letting him up. If I hurt him, I'm not going to let off the pressure. And he's not the most accurate striker. He has one real knockout, and he's a regional champ. And I've fought all those things before. So
where do you think what do you think he's coming from with this? Is he just trying to get in your head?
Yeah, he's just trying to get in my head, being a little weirdo like he is. But no one can out-weird me. I'm weirder than anyone.
Is there a chance you twerk over him if he gets?
I want to teabag him, lad. I want to teabag him like it's Modern Warfare 2.
For the uninitiated at home, what is teabagging?
I want to squat as close to his head as I possibly can without the ref shouting at me.
Okay.
Just squat up and down like I'm on Modern Warfare 2, lad.
Thank you for clarifying that. How do you see the fight itself actually going? He was trying to say it's going to be a bit of a grappler versus grappler. What do you see?
No, it's not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to take his head off. I'm not going to be shooting no takedowns. I'm coming to stand with him and to take his head off. I'm coming to take his chin on with me. No. He can't throw a punch to save his life, lad. He really can't, lad. He comes to fights he doesn't come into fights to win. He comes into fights not to lose. You know what I mean? Try and take me down, sit on top of me and sniff me balls for 3 rounds, lad. It's not going to work.
I feel like he's been trying to get in your head, but what I'm getting from you is actually he's just kind of pissed you off.
Yeah, he has. He's pissed me off, lad. I didn't mind him when the fight got announced. I really didn't mind him, lad. Like, he had 12,000 followers. He's now got 30,000 just off the back of my name for people who... What the fuck was that? For people who don't like me. You know what I mean? He's just got a load of followers. His followers is nearly tripled just because people don't like me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he can talk all this shite all he wants, lad. But he knows full well when that cage door gets shut, I'm going to come out and I'm going to take his head on with me.
He was kind of playing down how the crowd's going to be. He was like, 9 o'clock, they won't be that drunk by then.
Well, lad, it's funny because that got put in my group chat with my mates before. And my mate Jack, one of my closest mates, put, is he messing? I'll be in a mess by 9 o'clock. What's he on about? You know what I mean? So what's he on about, lad? All my mates will be in a mess by then, absolutely sloshed. 9 o'clock. That's what I mean. He's only ever fought in the Apex. He's never fought anywhere else. He's never fought with a crowd, lad. And now he's fighting with my crowd. Lad, his head's going to fall off. As I was saying before, lad, this might be the first ever time someone shits themselves in the octagon.
Actually,
You know what I mean?
I don't think that's the first time.
Oh, isn't it? Well, it might be the first time you have to mop a bit of shit up off the floor.
So,
Last one from me, just so we can make sure we still have the headline. The plan is still to knock him out and twerk on him afterwards?
yeah, finish the fight, twerk, go home.
Jordan.
Go on.
Hi.
Hello.
Paddy was saying that he's going to make you wilt under the pressure and he predicts a knockout. You were just talking about grappling and how you feel like it could be a boring fight. Do you feel like he's just saying that, or do you see it as a grappling match?
I see it. I look at it statistically speaking, and it's probably going to be a grappling match. He has the one knockout, and he was kind of getting pieced up, and he hit Luigi exiting the clinch, so Luigi didn't have his base. I mean, he's not very good on the front foot, so I don't imagine the pressure is going to be an issue because no one's wanted to take him down, and I'm a much better grappler than him, I'm a much better wrestler than him. So the idea that he's just going to run and throw punches recklessly, and I'm just going to cover up and get hit with 10 unanswered strikes and fall, I don't think that's going to happen. No, I don't think he's a threat in the striking department.
And you did say that in the beginning when they gave you this matchup, you were a little bit offended. You kind of explained it. Now that you're here in the UK and you know, fighting in his home country, how's the experience been like, and how do you anticipate the crowd's going to be?
My first time leaving the country, so that was jarring. I'm terrified of flying, but the panic kind of wears off after 6 hours. You know, I kind of got tired from being scared. It's just 20,000 people. The O2's smaller than the Thomas and Mack. I fought from a bigger crowd for my third amateur fight. And I've dealt with a lot of drunk people. It's just 9 p.m., so how drunk can they be? They'll have to show me. But I'm not too worried about it. Social media, followers, hometown, that doesn't matter. It's all white noise, a placebo effect. I get to decide if it affects me.
I'll let the referee know. Thanks, man.
Paddy, hi. A lot of people are looking at this as your toughest test on paper. Is it safe to say you disagree?
No.
Yep.
Luigi Vendramini knocks him clean out. And I think he's got better jiu-jitsu than him, to be honest. And Vargas would knock him out if he caught him on the feet, but he would out-grapple Vargas, give him his due. He can grapple, but he can't grapple like me. He thinks he's a good grappler. Like, he's training out of one of the biggest gyms in Vegas, Syndicate, and he got beat up by someone who's training in his back garden in Peru. You know what I mean? That Puellas, another crab, who had beaten around. So, like, that means nothing to me. Or he's chatting all this shite. And because of it, like, I always touch gloves, but I'm not touching gloves with this little mushroom. It's not happening. I'm coming out and I'm taking his head clean off.
You said you were pissed off. Is this the first time you come with this type of emotion in fight?
I've never really been pissed off leading up to a fight. You know what I mean? Vendramini and Vargas were pretty respectful, as I was to them. But he's a little maggot, and I'm going to proper batter him for it. I've never come into a fight wanting to hurt my opponent, and I'm going to hurt him. If I get the chance, I'm going to split him open with elbows so I rearrange his face.
But there are perks, right? I mean, the fact that he's being pumped up and he's here in his home crowd. Do you allow yourself to think about, you know, stealing all that momentum away from him with a win here?
I mean, when I separate from the Flash, he doesn't really have momentum. You know, he beat two guys who aren't even on the roster anymore. So, in terms of actually where my place is in this division before and after this fight, it's absolutely no different. And I mean, social media followers are cool. I'll gain a lot more after I win, but that doesn't matter to me. I've never cared about that stuff.
All right, thank you.
Jordan.
Yes.
Hiya. You talk about you fought in front of a big crowd before. But pretty much everybody in that arena is going to be cheering for the guy in the opposite corner to you. How do you mentally prepare for not just the fight, but for the atmosphere that you're going to walk into? Just when you come out of the tunnel into the arena on fight night, the wall of noise that's going to greet you is going to be something unlike anything you've experienced so far in your UFC career. So how are you mentally preparing for that?
A lot of my teammates have been booing while I've been sparring. So if those you love can boo you and you could kind of drown it out, imagine those I don't even know or will never know. I don't imagine it's going to bug me. Plus, you know, boos have a nice, like, powerful sound. I think it's kind of going to pump me up. I'm kind of excited for the experience. I'll never get it again after this fight. So
I know you don't like to call guys out because you say you don't want to give them clout, but how do you see your UFC career panning out? Obviously, from outside the octagon, you're killing it. But in terms of your fighting career, do you ever think about rankings, where you want to go, or just take it fight by fight?
Taking it fight by fight. I'm not calling anyone out. I don't need to give anyone publicity. Everyone has my name in their mouth. It's as simple as that. I don't need to mention anyone. You know what I mean? Logan Paul was talking about me the other week. Just shows, doesn't it? Even YouTubers are talking about me because they know who the boy is.
Thank you.
Paddy, you say that that Jordan Leavitt as an opponent isn't as good as some of the guys you've fought in the past. So
I've fought better grapplers in Cage Warriors. Soren Bak's a better grappler. Nadal Armani's a better grappler, even though he was juiced up. Know what I mean? But
so in terms of your career progression, other than the ability to pick up another win and entertain the fans in the UK, what is the big upside of fighting Jordan Leavitt on Saturday?
I'm going to put on a showcase with my hands and my feet. I'm going to put it on him on the feet. He's going to see a new side of me that you've never seen before. I wanted to do it in the last fight, but as I say, I was very disappointed in my last performance. Come out and threw 2 kicks, didn't even throw a punch, lad. I felt like a little bitch after it. You know what I mean? He hit me with a hook and I shot in for a panic shot. I did. Shot in for a panic shot, ended up on the bottom. My takedown accuracy in the UFC, 0%, lad. I feel like an absolute little pussy. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna make it I'm gonna make a statement on the weekend. You know what I mean? Watch. I can't wait to come out and absolutely flatline him. I'm gonna put him unconscious.
You said it might not be that interesting a fight because you both have a strong sort of grappling base, but quite often, from watching fights in the past, when you get 2 grapplers going head to head in the cage, it can sometimes turn into a striking matchup. So break it down for us as a striking matchup based on what you know of Paddy. Paddy's already said he's going to knock you out inside the first 2 minutes. He said that in an interview yesterday. So give us your take on that and how you stylistically break it down from a striking perspective.
Striking perspective is like the open stance, southpaw versus orthodox thing. Can't really throw combos and blitz as well from a mirrored stance. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think he'll be able to rush me effectively. But it's basically my defense versus his offense. But he's not particularly good on the front foot. He hit Luigi out of the clinch. If you watch his entire career, he's always getting backed up against the fence, chin up high, trying to throw a check left hook. If he leads, it's with the left leg. I mean, I've seen this all 1,000 times before. I think I'm going to slow down the fight. I don't think he'll be able to push the pace on me. I'm not going to wilt under the pressure. He's just a left-handed fighter. He just fights all left side, and I can avoid that. I'll walk away from it.
This change in energy is quite marked because obviously in the lead up to this fight, everything we've seen from you, great interview you did with Molly and Gary Neville. I'll ask you a question about that in a second. But everything about the lead up to this fight has been very relaxed, very open.
Oh, I'm very relaxed
chilled.
still. Don't worry, lad. I'm very relaxed. I am relaxed, but I just think, who's he talking about? He's a no one. He's a nobody. And he's talking about me like I've fought nobody and I'm a no one. Like, his head's going to fall off when he walks out. He's only ever fought in the Apex. He's only ever fought crabs. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between fighting me, fighting Matt Wyman, and fighting that fat featherweight, and then that Trey Ogden. You know what I mean? As I say, my nan's dead and she'd finish him.
Yeah, no, the only reason I was mentioning that is I wondered, given the change of energy and the fact that you're talking in this sort of way, is this something your team have said to you? Like, do you need to make sure you keep everything on the level?
No one needs to tell me anything, lad. I know I'm solely focused. I know what I'm doing, lad. As I say, it's just he's talking bits of shit, lad. What is pissing me off? Know what I mean? Like, as I say, he's a no one. No one knew who he was before he fought me. I got an interview before and he got called Justin Leavitt by the interviewer. That's how much of a no one he is. His name's getting said wrong by a very big interviewer. It's embarrassing. He's a no one. He's the monkey crab, not the monkey king.